What's going on, my friends? What is going on in the world today? This is Instructor Mike, and this is going to be a different kind of show tonight. It shouldn't be too different because we're going to talk about parenting. We are going to talk about parenting. I am not only streaming live through YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, where else? All over the place. What's going on? If you're in YouTube, you might have noticed that I've turned on the members only chat. Why? It would be nice if you became a member of this channel. It would be nice. The parenting class goes on in the members only section. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing for reals. 86 people here. Like to thank you for coming in to parent night. What do I mean when I say parent night? I am going to introduce to the streams one of the lessons that I teach in parenting. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Understanding the source of how do you become a member? Well, if you go over to my YouTube channel, and well, if you're on Facebook, you're already watching. But this is the only lesson that I'm going to teach in the open. The rest of them are going to be in my membership. If you go over to my YouTube page, Instructor Mike, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and hit that button that says join. You'll be able to join. Now, this is about parenting. So this is going to be one of those topics where I expect a lot of people are going to join. No. See, people follow me for various reasons. But to actually learn about behavior, it's going to be an interesting topic. It's going to be an interesting topic. What's going on, Mitchell? How are you? Let's see how the YouTube live stream is actually performing. Man. Do me a favor, hit the like button, please, if you're watching. Maybe I should make it where actually everybody else could comment. Maybe I should make it where everybody else should comment. All right, let me go on ahead and turn on. Then everybody else can comment. Hey, what's going on? All right, we'll make it subs. All right, we'll make it subs. All right, we'll make it subs. But you got to be a sub of the channel. You got to be a sub of the. What's going on? Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool. What's going on? Let me fix a couple of things first. Okay, so that's good. The default speaker. Here we go. Get that going. Sorry about that. Okay. Am I back now? Am I still muted? Nancy, you said I'm muted. Am I still? Yes, I did, Mr. Snowman. I did. Thank you for that. Am I still muted, you all? Can you hear me? Let me know. I don't know what I know what happened, but I don't know what happened. No, I'm not muted. I'm on. Okay, good. Yay. Hey, what's going on? All right, let's go ahead and get to it. So we're gonna talk about understanding the source of behavior. This is not going to be a popular conversation, but it should be a conversation that occurs in parenting classes. So I'm going to go on ahead and, you can hear me. Yay. What's going on? Everybody, if you can, follow my friend Nina de la Flores. You can follow her on Twitter. You can follow her on Instagram. If you are a lady and you are interested, lady, woman, leave it there. And you are interested in wonderful firearms training from the perspective of a duly qualified female who can teach you a lot as it relates to firearms, especially if you're a beginner, in a comfortable environment, and teach you wonderful ways in terms of how to actually carry that firearm using your various curvatures and things that you may have. I mean, go follow her. Go follow her. She's got a lot of wonderful products and such, and not an aggressive person either, because sometimes you get with different firearms instructors and there are different temperaments and different mindsets and things like that. And so I'm just happy to, continue to push her channel. Her channel and her platform is already beyond growing, but I would love to see that grow even more. I would love to see that grow even more. You said, let me find the link for her. Matter of fact, I'm going to find the Instagram link. Where's my Instagram page at? Hold on. I'm going to find this Instagram link for her right now so that you all can go there and join. Okay, allow. Thank you. Get out the way. Get out the way. I'm going to find it. Do me a favor. Hit that like, comment, subscribe button, all that great stuff. And please consider joining. This was supposed to be a member channel. Not member channel. The channel is great. It's fine. But the lesson was supposed to be member. And we're going to teach it live on all the platforms. But I'm going to find this for you all so that you all can go over to the page and follow her page. There we go. That's the Instagram link right there. And as soon as you get to the doggone page, matter of fact, bam, there it is right there. We're going to go on ahead and put it on here. As soon as you get to the page, let me blow it up. Bam, look at that. Look at that. It's Fab Firearms Academy with Nina, I said it wrong. Nina De La Flores. All right, you already see she's got 114,000 followers. But look at the wonderful stuff that, she puts on there. The Leisure Carry Belt, the best for beginners. I mean, it's a lot of wonderful content that she puts on here. So here is the link right here. I'm going to go on ahead and put it in the comments if you want to go on ahead and just follow her. Okay. Practical Ken, what's going on? What's going on? You said, well said, your choice of wording. I understand fully how things can affect parenting. I'm guardian for my mom now, and she still deals with issues. Yes, I totally understand that too. So that is the link for that. And that will also be included in some of my stuff, because people ask me about different firearms instructors all the time. And I want to recommend someone who I believe knows what she's talking about. And there are others out there too. But her approach to being a firearms instructor and not doing too much, but doing more than enough to not only teach you what you need to know, but make sure that you're comfortable in doing the basics. My God, we talk a lot of tactical stuff, tactical, advanced. Are you masters of just the basics? Like if you're not a master of the basics to the level of unconscious competence, tactical and advanced won't do you any good. So I just wanted to shout her page out and gone ahead and just, promote that as much as I can, because that kind of stuff actually matters, putting you, and she's in Arkansas too. And she's also traveling as well. So hit her up and show her some love and tell her you learned about it from Instructor Mike's page. I just gone ahead and dive right into it. Parenting. Understanding the source of behavior. Now, in understanding the source of behavior, let me go ahead and put it right here. In understanding the source of behavior, we talk a lot about TNT. What's going on? We talk a lot about the United States Secret Service issued a report that talked about active shooters and talked about 4 things that lead to active shootings. And one of those, yes, yes, Cooler 675. Yes, please show some love. Yes, I'm gonna put his comment up there. She's followed by some content creators I already follow. Absolutely. Do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe button. Consider joining the page, because like I said, if you enjoy this is going to be every Tuesday night from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right? I decided to take my parenting class from Zoom and bring it over to YouTube in the members only section. So this will be a members only stream. So if you do join, go to Instructor Mike. The join button should be in the comments, not in the comments, but in the page. And then consider joining. Okay, let's go. Let's get to it. Understanding behavior. The Secret Service issued a report studying 50 active shooters that talked about the things that would likely create an active shooter that existed amongst all 50 of them that they studied. One of those things being childhood trauma. The second thing being a recent flashpoint, right? Something that triggered them to then decide to go do that thing. Studies of previous active shooters and then access to firearms. I did a video that I just released that talked about Governor. Yes, yes, TNT Network, YouTube. He said, as much as there's a need for firearms training, we also need more parenting training too. Okay. So yes, I agree. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Okay, let's go. I don't want to lose you all because I can sit there and talk all day. Let me make use of your time. Here we go. Understanding the source of behavior. Let me get to the big screen. There we go. Good. I'm going to play this video. Let's play the video. Here we go.
I tried to kill myself with a bottle of pills. And the fact of the matter is I trusted no one. And looking back, I guess, how could I? From the time my parents left me, to the time another foster kid raped me, to the time I was bullied so bad, I genuinely could not fathom a world where I could trust anybody. So fast forward, here I am, 14 years old, and entering my umpteenth foster home. I was a veteran at this whole sort of getting kicked out of one home, moved to the next. You meet these people who were like literally complete and total strangers 10 minutes ago who are now apparently your mom and dad. You know, kids don't take candy from strangers, just move in with them. So I'm sitting in the van in the driveway of this next home, and that's when I see Rodney. He's standing up there on the front porch, and immediately I notice this is a large fella. He's 6'5", he's 350 pounds, and as a 14-year-old boy, I couldn't help but notice when he's turned to the side like that, he's shaped like a lowercase b. It's amusing now, but in the moment it was tactical. Maybe that's how I could get kicked out of this home. Maybe I could get under his skin about his weight. So I move in with him. I'm being obnoxious. I'm being ungrateful. I'm being just downright rude and mean. I'm setting things on fire. And 3 years later, I can't shake this guy. Rodney won't kick me out. So I step up my game. I go to the local bank in town. I open up a checking account. I put about $90 in there. Then I proceed to write $10,000 worth of checks. Obviously, checks bouncing one after the next after the next. One check that bounced was for my car insurance. I'm going down the road speeding, Stillwater, Oklahoma, 88 miles an hour. No car insurance, no driver's license. I get pulled over, handcuffed, thrown in the back of a cop car, and sent to jail. I call Rodney. Like, Rodney, I'm in Stillwater. I'm in jail. I'll tell you the whole thing when you get here. Can you please come bail me out tonight? He said, I will come bail you out, but not till tomorrow. Rodney frustratingly believed sometimes one of the most loving things you could do for a kid was allow them to sit in either the success of their wonderful choice or the stupidity of their foolish choice. Next morning, he comes, bails me out, exactly as promised. We have a long, very awkward car ride home. No one says anything. We get back to the house. He's like, we need to sit down and talk. And I knew this moment had finally come. So Rodney, his wife, sit me down to give me the talk I've had a dozen times. He looks in my eyes and says, son, you can keep causing problems. You can keep trying to mess up. You can keep pushing us away. You can keep trying to get us to kick you out of here, but you've got to get it through your thick head, son. We don't see you as a problem. We see you as an opportunity.
Yep.
And in that moment, all my skepticism came to the surface. And I thought, what a cheesy, stupid thing to say to a 17-year-old kid. But then I was overwhelmed with the reality that this guy actually meant it. He didn't see what I was, what was on the surface. The obnoxious kid, the ungrateful kid, the kid getting suspended. He saw what I could be. It was genuinely my turning point. Statistically, I am supposed to be dead, in jail, or homeless. But because of one caring adult. I'm not a statistic. Every kid is one caring adult away from being a success story. Every child who winds up doing well has had at least one stable and committed relationship with a supportive adult. My friend and mentor, Reggie Joyner, taught me to think about it this way. In this jar are 936 marbles. Each one of these marbles represents a single week from the birth of a kid until that kid turns 18 years old. So if you know a 9-year-old, you've only got 468 marbles, or weeks, however you want to look at it, remaining. You know a 16-year-old? You got 104 marbles remaining. Right here, we are looking at time. In fact, you're looking at all the time or all of the weeks you have left to influence this kid, or this kid before they turn 18 and begin making critical life decisions without your presence. The difference between a statistic and a success story is you.
Yeah, I actually like this. I like this video. All right, let's push. Here we go. So, what are you all's thoughts about that video? That video was pretty good. And you know what? A lot of us are just, if we just had one caring adult that was just in our lives, and if you had that one caring adult, then you know the power of his statement, and it was extremely true. So let's go on ahead and push. Understanding the behavior. You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And those of you watching, you've been in my classes before, where you've heard me say, those who understand behavior address it, while those who don't understand behavior will do as much as they can to actually suppress the behavior. All behavior is communication, but just because all behavior is communication, does that mean you understand fully what's being said, what's being relayed to you? So let's go on ahead and dive into it. Let's think about behavior in terms of this iceberg. The behavior is just the symptom of the problem. How many of you all have ever been told before, you're the problem? You're the problem. See, let me tell you what your problem is. Let me tell you what your problem is. You don't understand what your problem is. What your problem is, yeah, that could be very triggering. Right. And especially if you're a little learning human being that you just got here, you know, whether you had been 5 years old, 10 years old, whatever the case may be, and you're being told by these big trusted persons you're supposed to be entrusting your life and your teaching to, you know, to guide you, that you're the problem, you know. But underneath the behavior are thoughts, feelings, and needs. Thoughts, feelings, and needs. And when we dive into that, we're looking at behavior, things like, you know, setting things on fire, or speeding, or bouncing checks, being rude, mean. Sometimes you have adults, good intention as though they may be, that may have unreasonable expectations for children, right? So let's continue to push. So what are we talking about when we're talking about feelings? What are those things? Feelings, you know, angry, sad, lonely, hurt, frustrated, or even happy, right? Happy can sometimes motivate certain behaviors too. Overly happy, right? Thoughts, I'm not loved, I'm unworthy. What's the point? I can't trust anyone. Or here we go. No matter how many times people say something, and no matter how many times I say I didn't do it, you're not listening to me. You never listened to me. How many of you felt that when you were younger? You never listened. Sound off in the comments. Let me know if you can still hear me. Trying to test the mic. All right. Here we go. Let's push. What about needs? Needs. Not one single need was met. You know, I was talking to an advocate today on the phone out of a particular state. Won't say what state that is. And in talking to this advocate, this person was talking about how they would go into IEP meetings and things like that, and how going into IEP meetings, they would sit there and talk about the behavior and talk about, ADHD and certain things like that. And it was just talking about behavior, but wasn't necessarily talking about or trying to find the origin of where the behavior was coming from. One particular thing this person said was about tapping, 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 tapping. And I'm like, well, there are other reasons why a person is tapping. If you're talking about what teachers are supposed to do or what parents are supposed to do in terms of assisting their children in teaching not to bite, not to do this, not to do that, you never went to dive in and to actually find out what was the reason for the tapping. If we can get to the behavior, then you might be able to find other alternate things that the child can do, you know. And suffice it to say, there are children who are diagnosed with ADHD who don't have ADHD, but they just have impatient parents. They just have parents that may not have skills. Although good intention, they just may not have the skills to be able to address that. So when this advocate was telling the parent that they should have done something, it's like, well, how do you expect this parent to actually do this thing? Well, they should be able to parent. Yes, because they had the child. That sounds good, but parenting doesn't work like that. Just because you are assuming the responsibility of parenting doesn't mean you can actually apply the skills that you were never given. But the expectation of you and society and others, you can go on ahead and just do that because you are a parent, and all of a sudden, just there it is. They can go on ahead and just perform a particular thing. So let's go on ahead and push. Let's try to understand the behavior. Here we go. When an event occurs, humans immediately react with thoughts and feelings. One of the most powerful or profound breakthroughs in human relationships has been learning to value each other's emotional states and helping each other to feel better, not worse, about our lives. Okay. So here we go. Those of you all who have been in my classes, let's dive into it. What are two primary emotions? Two primary emotions. Go on ahead and sign off in the comments. What do you think those two primary emotions are? Two primary emotions. What are those two primary emotions? Let me see if I can get some audience participation here. Two primary emotions. Two primary emotions. I'm gonna wait till I see the first comment pop up. And if it's the right one, we'll push forward. We'll push forward. By the way, I hope you all have been having a great day today. Hope your the start of your week has been great. Okay, there we go. Fear and love. Yes, fear and love. Ashley said anger and happiness. What you're going to learn is you're going to learn that those are secondary emotions. Those are secondary emotions, right? Reina Latina, yes, love and fear. That is correct. Let's go on ahead and push forward. Here we go. So, love and fear are two primary emotions from which all other emotions actually come from. Okay. Happiness, sorrow, jealousy, frustration, and joy. They are all secondary emotions. Let's go on ahead and play a little game. Okay. Play a little game. Here we go. So, identify the primary emotion, love or fear, from these emotions that you're going to see. Here we go. Lonely. Is it love or is it fear? Let's get some comments going on. I'm going to read comments, Mr. Snowman. And thank you very much, Practical Kid, for gifting the memberships. Make sure that you all gone ahead and catch the membership because Practical Kid has been trying to get people good training. And that's, like I said, this parenting class is going to take place in the membership section. Here we go. Mr. Snowman, it hurts more when family or brothers are the ones who should act in a correct way, not realizing their inactivity causes pain. Love him, but fear he will break the family. Ooh, that's something, right? Lonely, fear. Yes, fear. That is exactly correct. Fear. That's the primary emotion in that one. Okay. So if they're lonely, doesn't necessarily always mean it could be an insecurity, so to speak. That's big. It could be a small insecurity, right? Happy. Is it love or fear? Love or fear? What's going on, Patah? How are you? Just doing a parenting class, right? After all, talk about it all the time. Let's go ahead. Hey, what's going on, Kater? How are you? All right, happy. Which one is it? Happy. Is it love or fear? We're playing how feelings work, right? We're trying to identify the primary emotion from these other secondary emotions. Reina Latina said it. Love. Yes, absolutely. Love. Let's go ahead and push on to the next one. Here we go. What about afraid? Well, that's going to be an easy one. It's literally inherent in the word afraid. When you're afraid of something, what is it? I'm glad, Mitchell. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Here we go. Afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of being alone, right? You said love. Okay, you all are answering. You're reacting. I forgot. I'm ahead. You all are slightly lagging. That's fine. Afraid. That's right. Fear. Fear. Right? Fear. Here we go. Let's go to the next one. What about sad? Sad. You're pretty much getting the gist of it. So we can hold off on the thumbs. I get the audience participation. Here we go. Sad. Sad extends from fear. Here we go. Frustrated. Frustrated. Right? So when we understand the two primary emotions, love and fear, if a person is frustrated, and then if we look at posture before presentation, what does that mean? Posture before presentation. How am I posturing myself before I present what I'm going to do to try to help a child that's either mine or someone else's or even an adult? Why? Because behind every angry adult is an unaddressed child. Behind every angry adult is an unaddressed child. So if that adult is frustrated, what are you being frustrated for? What's the problem? If your posture, if they are already in the primary emotion of fear and your posture is triggering more of that fear, do you think they're going to want to learn from you? Do you think they're going to? And I had to tell this advocate today that when you teach, especially the context of what you're teaching about, you're teaching angry. And so your posture is fear-based. And if your posture is fear-based and this person is already in fear, fear on fear doesn't equal a healthy learning environment for anyone. It doesn't equal that. Okay. So let's go on ahead and push. Here we go. What about angry? We just talked about that, right? Which one are you first? You had road rage, right? You were driving on the interstate I-94 northbound or southwest, what are your east? You get it. Passing 87th Street, driving. Somebody cuts you off in traffic. Which one are you first? Are you angry or are you afraid? Are you angry or are you afraid? Yes, you're feeling fear. You are feeling fear. You're afraid of what? Losing your life, right? Getting into an accident. So then you adjust accordingly. And then once you gather your thoughts, gather yourself, if you will, sometimes it happens rather quickly. What do? Lash out in anger, because how dare this person trigger you through their actions, right? How dare they trigger you through their actions? Let's go on ahead and push. Here we go. What about smug, right? Disgusted, confused, right? Depressed. Ooh, sound off in the comments. Which one is that? Depressed, love, or fear? Come on, we know that's fear, right? And as you can see, when we got the other secondary emotions on here, do you see how they can all combine into one area of being afraid? What are you afraid of? I'm afraid of being alone. I'm afraid no one would love me. I'm afraid no one values me. I'm afraid of this. I'm angry at this. And no matter how many times I try to make myself noted, you see where that stuff goes, right? You see where that stuff goes. Depressed, right? It's fear. It's absolutely fear. Absolutely. Right. And notice they say people fear what they don't understand. So the lack of education accelerates fear. I believe that the lack of education and the lack of skills puts gas into fear. It puts gas into the lack of confidence. It puts gas into that. Right. That's why skills matter. Being able to understand how to solve problems in various environments accelerate the confidence that you need to have to be in a position of love where you understand people, you understand places, you understand things and systems and how they work. Let's continue to push. Surprised, right? Surprise could be a combination between love or fear, depending upon the context of that surprise. Guilty. Okay. Guilty is a thing. Hopeful, worried, ashamed, embarrassed, cautious, proud, confident, hopeless, distracted. Distracted, right? Enraged, shocked, empty, nervous, shy, ecstatic. I'm sure you get it, right? By addressing the fear first, you can address the actual real problem. Now, let's address some common misconceptions. Here we go. Feelings are our birthright. How many of you feel that feelings are anything else but? By virtue of being human, we are all entitled to our feelings. We're all entitled to that. How many of you have been told that your feelings don't matter? Now, don't get me wrong. There's always context for that, depending upon what we're talking about, right? But there's always context for that. How many of you have been told that your feelings don't matter? Your feelings absolutely do matter, right? Of course, there's always TPM, time, place, and manner in the way you display those feelings, but your feelings absolutely matter. In fact, if you look up the definition of respect, you'll learn something about respect and feelings. I don't want to rob the lesson because that's coming up in the future in this segment. By the way, sound off in the comments. What do you think about what we're talking about right now? Let me know. I mean, you want me to stop, get back to the gun stuff, or you want me to keep going talking about this stuff? Sound off in the comments. Yeah, UK said fear is primal. Becoming aggressive with someone who is afraid will not help anyone. That is correct. And did we just say that having certain feelings does not mean you are necessarily entitled to act on those feelings? But just imagine if we could just start letting a person own their feelings. What do I mean when I say own their feelings? You know, they have the right not to like you. Right? No one has to like you. No one has to like you. They absolutely have they absolutely have the right not to like you. They have the right not to like the shoes that you're wearing, the clothes that you're wearing, the size you are, the shape you are, or even the color of your skin. Did you know that? That just because they don't like you doesn't mean they can't learn that the reason that they don't like you could be based on bad information. But when we get so caught up in trying to shape a person's view of how they view us without understanding the reasons they view us the way they view us, you see what I'm saying? And now you're acting off of that impulse of wanting them to like you because, of course, psychologically, naturally, we have a psychological need to belong. I get it. You got to understand those things and put them in context, right? Let's push. Here we go. Children must understand the difference between acknowledgement versus approval. Acknowledgement. I hear you. I understand you. Your feelings matter. I don't approve of the way that you did this. And in fact, my approval is one thing, but society doesn't approve of the way you did this. In fact, society will give you certain consequences, right? Which are things that just happen as a result of an action, right? Society will give you consequences for certain behaviors. And here's this: at home in this environment, we give you the space to test certain things out. Why? When we give you this space to test certain things out, we can tell you what's right or wrong, teach you what's right or wrong, teach you, discipline you. What does discipline mean? Teaching you how to actually do, teaching you how to be responsible. Two types of responsibility: assume and applied. Here you're going to learn applied responsibility, skills to be able to actually do, right? The world will assume that you're responsible without analyzing if you're able to actually respond to that need. And that could be a consequence in and of itself, the shame and the judgment that you're going to get from society. And this is why you need to understand about the difference between acknowledgement. I hear you. I understand you. Express yourself. But then in the society, you have to learn time, place, and manner. And maybe sometimes even at home, you have to learn time, place, and manner too. But we got to start out first by letting the children and even the adults around you own their feelings. How do you secure the self if you can't even own the feelings that you have? Who said whether they're right or wrong? We get so caught up in that these days. Let's push. I'm going to read your comments. Here we go. Kay said, that's the conversation I had with my daughter. Your classmates do not have to like you, and you do not have to like her. It does not mean you are allowed to treat her in a negative manner, nor she you. Outstanding, Kay. Outstanding. Mr. Snowman said, it's a shame that people think that being negative to one person, it makes other people like you more. You know, that is a shame that people think that, but if we're looking at it from the perspective of the need to belong, if other people in that cohort of, let's just say, the mean girls or the mean guys or the jocks or whatever the case may be, if they carry on a pattern of not treating people or certain cohort of the student body a certain way, then I could see and I can understand that behavior of why in the same attitudes and then treat this person wrong. I can see how that can happen, and you are right. It's a shame that people think that. Now, when you look at what you said, it's a shame that people think. That's the analysis of how we feel about the behavior. But in psychology, it's the thing is not the thing, right? The thing that we think it is not the thing. The underlying behavior is the need to belong versus the behavior displayed. Does that make sense? Okay. And then Nicole said, that's part of the problem. We talk about our feelings as if there's nothing wrong with having them. Then we never teach the positive way to express what we're feeling. You are so correct, Nicole. The thing is that if you think about that word respect, let's go culturally, right? Let's go culturally, depending upon your culture. There's an inverted pyramid. And I really hope you all do, because Mike did it again. Yeah, my mic did it again. I got to find a better cord for this or put it in a better spot because that's a little short. I can't tap this thing and it just goes out. That's not cool. Hold on 1 minute. Make sure I'm on the right mic. Good. I'll have a backup. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, let's go on ahead and continue. I'm sure you all can still hear me. Let's go on ahead and continue. So that's, you know, we talk about that culture. I got an inverted pyramid. I hope you all do consider joining, because we can go on ahead and talk more about this, because I want to show you all this pyramid, the flow of where knowledge comes from, right? Where knowledge comes from. Society allows what culture approves for the family to then teach or exhibit what you will inevitably do. You know, and if you take a step above family, because whether you've analyzed your family, what they know, and then the lineage of outcomes, stuff like that, that stuff matters. But if we look at things from a cultural perspective, right? From a cultural perspective, let me grab this thing real quick because it's gonna get etched into my memory. But until it does, I wrote some notes. There we go. 5 components of culture. When we look at things from a sociological perspective, right? 5 components of culture: norms, values, symbols, language, and the material culture, right? Norms, values, symbols, language, and material culture. So in culture, Black culture, let's go there, right? And it's not just exclusive to Black culture. I'm sure it exists among all cultures, right? But let's go on ahead, and I'm going to get your comment in a minute, Joshua. Let's go on ahead and talk about it. Here we go. Respect. You think about it. Fighting for respect. I see this meme that go across social media all the time. Whether you like me or not is one thing, but one thing you're gonna do is you're gonna respect me, right? And you see that from time to time. Whether you like me or not is one thing, but one thing you're gonna do is respect me. Well, let's look at the definition of respect. Every last one of you, if you can, go on ahead and dive into a phone or another device, whatever the case may be. Look up the word respect. And I want you to type in the comments, if it's not too much trouble, type the 2 words that are in the definition of respect. The 2 words that are in the definition of respect. Type them in the comments, and I will put them on the screen when they pop up. Because if we're talking about, like what Joshua said, while y'all looking that up, here we go. We are also in a weird time where people don't acknowledge others' feelings often enough. But on the flip side, we often see people who feel as if their feelings should be prioritized over all else. Yes, that is the case. Yes, that is definitely the case. What's going on, Mallory? All right, the definition of the word respect. The definition of the word respect. Just type the first two words in that definition that you see that pops up. Because we talk about a lot of people, or we hear about a lot of people fighting for respect, right? And Mr. Snowman says, and respect does not mean, hey Jenny, what's going on? I am in a more powerful position than you. But you know what? You said respect doesn't mean that. I see you all typing them in there. There we go, Nicole. You know what? It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. But once we get to the definition, right? What's going on, Javar? Here we go. A deep feeling. TNT Network, a feeling. Nicole, a feeling. Cooler put the whole definition on there. A feeling, right? So if we could just pause right there, a feeling. A feeling. So when you're fighting for respect, you're fighting for a feeling, right? When you sit there and say, look, whether you like me or not is one thing, but one thing you're going to do is respect me. Now, drop that word respect and then put a feeling in there. Say it again. Whether you like me or not is one thing, but one thing you're going to do is a feeling. Right? So when we talk about Nicole's statement that she made back then, here we go. That's part of the problem. We talk about our feelings as if there's nothing wrong with having them. Then we never teach the positive way of expressing what we are feeling. That's why, because the reason that is because we may have been culturally incorrectly taught the definition of respect, that a person has the right to feel what they want to feel. We don't let them own their feelings. They don't let us own our feelings, and nobody is really valuing the feelings of each other. So that's why there's always this clash. A person has the right not to like you for whatever the case may, for whatever it is. We didn't say their feelings were right or wrong. It's just the feeling. And if we can just let them own that feeling, that could be the door that opens that area of understanding. Let's have a conversation if it's not too much trouble, right? Can we have a conversation on what is it about me that you don't like? And if we're looking at stoicism in philosophy, stoicism, self-reflection, right? Maybe I am doing something that's making you not like me, right? And then we got to look at the context of that. Can I afford to look at those feelings and say, okay, let's have a conversation about that? Or is it in a military situation, a type of thing where, okay, we can address the feelings later, but I need you to act because if you don't, you're going to die. Right? I'm just saying. Here we go. So, yeah. Class over, right? No, class isn't over. Do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Please consider joining. This is the type of thing that's going to happen every Tuesday doggone night. Every Tuesday night in the members section. So if you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, if you're on Facebook or some other platform, head on over to YouTube, Instructor Mike, hit that subscribe button, bell for notifications, and Practical Ken has gifted a lot of people with memberships. So there you go. You got one in the house, on his house. Thanks, Practical Ken. Appreciate it. Let's go on ahead and dive into the next one. TNT Network YouTube said, own up a feeling, my feelings, your feelings, then we are feeling. Yes. Could have said it better. Yes, outstanding. Let's go on ahead and push. Let's go on ahead and push to the next one. Here we go. Moving back to center. Let's get back to center, right? So when people are in fear, okay, they may be able, or we may be able to guide them back to a healthy center, okay? We typically attract what we project. Our emotional energy affects everyone around us. The emotional energy of a parent greatly impacts children's behavior. I love going to pick up my daughters every morning and taking them to school, right? It's an amazing thing. And just the energy of when you're happy, they're happy. When you're sad, they're sad. I really hope you all stay around for this parenting journey because, like I said, I teach a 14-week, sometimes 15-week long parenting class where you will learn the stages of loving that a child is at from 0 to 4. They're selfish, as they're supposed to be. At 5 to 7, they're at the stage of pleasing others, right? So if your energy is draining and they're trying to please you, it's hard because they may not have learned that just yet. So, but if your energy is high, and sometimes that could be hard to fake because you're going through your everyday life, right? You're going through that, and it could be hard. But the emotional energy of a parent greatly impacts that child's behavior, and the children, they definitely learn from parents' emotional responses. So it's like if you're always and you're always mad, and they, why are you going to school mad? Because mom was mad, because dad was mad. Like they literally got it from you, and we got to own that. We got to own that without shaming or judging yourself. You can't give the kids what you don't have, and they can't give to others what they weren't taught to give. Does that make sense? Let's look at the comments. Here we go. P. Binger said, Mike, this is wonderful. All parents, all humans should learn this. If schools taught practical information like this instead of social stuff, our world would be so much healthier. Well, that's why I'm trying to bring it to my YouTube page, because Instructor Mike is not just about guns. We're about parenting. We're about all the other stuff. And I got young folks, middle-aged folks, older folks who follow me, whatever the case may be. Look, you got to get something out of this channel because some of you aren't gun people, and that's okay. It's okay. Look, hopefully you'll get there. If not, that's fine. I just want you to get something out of this. Does that make sense? I just want to appeal to sometimes people. You get your content creators who say you should find a niche. Look, my niche is everything. My niche is you. You are my niche. Okay, you are my niche, and I want to reach out to you. Let's push. All right, here we go. If we project positive and loving energy from a calm center, our children will be more positive and loving. Many parents fail to realize that they don't provide emotional climate, or they don't provide an emotional climate. The children are not going to grow. They're not going to even feel safe to grow. They're not going to even feel safe to test you. You do understand that children are supposed to test you, right? You can't tell you how many times I've heard, don't you test me. Well, the best professors are going to get tested. You do understand that, right? Like if your students, I remember when I was teaching it in the colleges, right? If your students are not testing you, right? If they're not testing you, how do you know how good you are or where you need to grow? Well, let me guess. You got your degree and you thought I've made it. No, it's just the beginning. It's even the beginning for you, because your students are going to test you. And in fact, every time you teach, you're supposed to get better as an educator because they're supposed to impart something within you. It's supposed to be a relationship between the two of you, right? Here we go. Nicole said, as an educator, I'm going to get to you, TNT Network YouTube. As an educator, it is vitally important for parents to know that they set the day for their children. Yes, that is so correct. TNT Network YouTube, Mike is about life lessons and the good ones. Thank you for that. You said I have to go to sleep now so that I can be a calm and loving mother when my kids wake me up at 2 a.m. I love what you're doing here. Good night. Thanks, Kay. I'm going to keep on and keep it going. And if you all could suggest to me a time that would make it more easier or more conducive, if you will, for you, because it might be 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock where you are. So I get it. What time would work best for you? Because I want to try to reach as many people as I can. Do you think a 5 o'clock in the afternoon would work? Now it'd be 5 my time, right? And it'd be like the rush hour. But, I kind of want to reach as many people as I can. Okay, we're going to keep on pushing. Thank you very much for that, Kay. Javar said, the trauma of parents is unknowingly passed on to their children. For sure. For sure. For sure. You are correct. All right, let's go on ahead and push. Here we go. Developing compassion. So there's the golden universal rule, the golden rule, and then the universal rule. They are universal truths that help guide our daily actions. And there's a big difference between what we are entitled to feel and what we have a right to do. What we have a right to do. So when we push on to the next one, the golden rule is treat others as you would want to be treated. And the universal rule is act in a way you would want everyone to act. I remember in philosophy, Immanuel Kant's categorical, you said 7 p.m. Okay. 5 p.m. would work. Trucker's wife. Hey, how are you? Hey. Another member of this channel. Here we go. You said 5 p.m. Central Standard Time would be a good time. Okay. Because then if I get 5, I can get some on a, earlier. Okay. We'll do it 5 then. We'll do it at 5. I could push to 5. I can do that. I can definitely do that for sure. But the categorical imperative from Immanuel Kant, act in a way, I'm paraphrasing, act in a maxim that could be would as universal law. In other words, act in a way that we would like, I guess, everyone to act in. So that's that universal rule, right? Trucker's wife. Now you said you get what you give. Let's put that in context, because if we look at respect, you can give respect and not get it. Why? Because we already defined respect as a feeling, So I treat you as though I respect you, but you may not like me. And that doesn't mean you're going to give it back to me, right? We can't expect people to give respect when they weren't taught respect, and we can't expect people to give respect when they have never been allowed to own their feelings. When they have never been allowed to own their feelings, how can they learn to respect the feelings of others? Does that make sense? No, it's all good. It's all good, Trucker's wife. You're fine. If they've never been allowed to own their feelings, they can't understand the feelings of others. They can't have empathy towards others when empathy wasn't shown to them, right? So in essence, the expectations that we have of people and their behavior because of our assumptions of what they know and what they don't know without understanding and taking the time to understand them often fuels feelings of them disrespecting us instead of understanding that they don't even know what that stuff is. And the minute you begin to learn what that stuff is, you can be that agent of change that can actually teach them, if they allow you, share with them some things that they need to know, right? And some may say, well, it's not my responsibility to do that. I'm not gonna do that. Well, I offer you this. If it's not your responsibility to do that, think about the one person in your life, in your childhood, adolescence, where it wasn't their responsibility to help you. You didn't come out of them. You're not living in their household. They're not feeding you. They're not clothing you, any of those things, but they took the time out of their day. They took the time out of their day to speak to you, to say something positive to you, to let you know that you matter, right? To give you just an ounce of a skill, something that would help mitigate that. What are the two primary emotions? Love and fear. Oh, he fears this because he doesn't understand it. Let me show you. And then the minute you begin to show you, and the minute they begin to fail forward, if you will. Why? Because they're going to make strategic mistakes as they're learning. But you're supporting them. You're not expecting them to do it right the first time, the second time, the third time. But gradually, as you begin to continue to work with them, then all of a sudden they start to do it right. They start to do it right. We're not expecting perfection, but they start to do it right. And they start to achieve. And they get the confidence that only comes from the cushion of failure and the desire to want to learn more, because you know that after every failure, you're not going to be shamed and judged, but that you're going to be supported, loved, and encouraged and cared for. And then they can begin. Now you're cultivating the mindset of a learner. So they don't win and lose. They win or they learn, because every loss is an opportunity to learn. Does that make sense? Nicole, what did you say? You said we need to teach children another way to respond or react that is positive. And that comes by teaching them how to respond. And Nicole, being an educator, I'm sure you can appreciate this. How many people attempt to teach something they are not qualified for, but are ashamed to say that they're not qualified to teach it? Moms, dads, grandmas, granddads, uncles, aunties, you get it, right? It's okay to say you don't know. Right? It's okay to say you don't know. You don't have to be the only one to teach everything. Our children are not trophy pieces. That's going to sting a little bit. Our children are not trophy pieces. It's not but I understand why people do it. All this life, all my entire time, I was told that I didn't amount to anything. That you'll never amount to anything. You'll never this, you'll never that. And what do? A part of that thing, create this child. And then this child is the trophy piece that I am worth. I am someone. Look at this child and the outcomes of this child. And while you think you've taught the child everything, the child becomes an adult and still has a lot of things they have not learned. How many times have we robbed our children of the lessons that could have come from other people by us cultivating relationships? But don't shame yourself. You may not have been taught how to cultivate those relationships. Does that make sense? I know I said a mouthful, right? I know I said that. Maria G said, definitely not a gun person, but for sure a kid person. Enjoy your conversation. And that's why we're going to keep it going. Thank you, Maria. Here we go. Let's get to it. Children are not born compassionate. Can we just stop here? Children are not born compassionate, and they need to be self-centered in their first developmental stage. It also takes a lot of teaching to help children to learn how to empathize with others. It also takes EPT, energy, patience, and time. Energy, patience, and time. I cannot emphasize this enough. Energy, patience, and time. Energy, patience, and time. People say patience is a virtue. Let's have a conversation on that. Let's have a conversation on patience being a virtue. What are your thoughts? Sound off in the comments. Is patience a virtue? Let's have it. Is patience a virtue? Because people say that. Nicole, you said that's most adults' problem. Right? We gain more from our children when we share that we are not perfect. We make mistakes. People say patience is a virtue. No, patience is not a virtue first. I had to put context on that, right? Patience can become virtuous, but patience is not a virtue at first. So when we look up the definition of patience, right? Patience. Matter of fact, y'all look up the definition of patience. Look up the definition of patience and put it in the comments. Here we go. You said patience is earned and you get it with discipline. Yes, patience is learned. Patience is learned. Let's look up the definition of patience because I think we use the word patience a lot. But if you don't actually study what the definition of patience is, you may not understand the full context of what the definition of what patience is, right? And even the context wherein it applies. Patience is a noun. It's the capacity to accept or tolerate, delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. Okay? Capacity. When we think about capacity, let's define that. Okay? There we go, TNT. Thank you. Put on the screen. Good. This is the definition of patience. The capacity to accept or tolerate, delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. So here your child is getting angry, and you're like, you need to exercise patience. Do you know their capacity? Do you know the capacity? Because if you don't know the capacity of your child, how can they, you see what I'm saying? What if they have no capacity? If they have no capacity to, to actually accept it or tolerate these things, then they're going to be impatient. They're self-centered, right? Here we go. Capacity, the maximum amount that something can contain. Isn't it amazing how parents will, who are religious, right? Cool. Let's go there. This is not a judgment of religion, but let's just use it, right? God won't put more on you than you can bear. But how many parents are putting more on a child than a child can bear? And then we expect the child to be able to bear or delay or accept or tolerate the troubles that we have to go through as an adult to provide for them. Whose fault is it when we've created children without the capital, much like hiring employees without the capital to pay for them? Does that make sense? And so we want them to be impatient when we take them this place, impatient when we take them this place or do this thing or subject them to all these different adult pressures, or even accelerate a child outside of the innocence of their childhood or their adolescence and make them an adult before they're even ready, and then expect them unreasonably to be patient. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. They're not born compassionate. They need to be selfish. That's part of the reason why you still have to have that conversation about them being selfish, because we haven't let them practice being selfish. We haven't let them practice that. Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate that. It takes a lot of teaching to help children learn how to empathize with others. Energy, patience, and time. You spent all day at work and now you're coming home. So now you're already irritable, right? You're tired. You could have had a good day at work, but you still exerted energy. So you barely have energy when you're at home. Now you got to have the energy to teach, and the children are ready to play, but then you don't have enough time because you got another meeting. You got to this, you got to this, you got to this, you got to this, you got all these things. All these things. But you expect them to be patient. Somehow, some way. Somehow, some way. We got to find the time to teach them something, right? Let's go ahead and push. It is natural. Let me put it on the big screen. Sorry about that. Here we go. Good. It is natural for a child to be selfish. It's not natural for them to stay that way into adulthood, but they have to be taught out of that and allowed to experience that. And do you know something I've seen with daycares? Daycares are often the assistants, if you will, of robbing a child of that developmental stage of being selfish. Because type it in the comments, what is the one thing that the daycares, and maybe, no shame, no judgment, but maybe you as a parent encourage your child to do? It begins with a S and it rhymes with hair. It begins with a S and rhymes with hair, right? While you're typing that, here we go. Cooler 675 said, I made the mistake of putting more on my 5-year-old because she's tall for her age. So I forget she is only 5. Yes, that's right, Javar. Share. Crazy, right? Come on, be bigger. You said guilty, right? Making them share. And it's like when you make them share too soon, when they're supposed to be selfish at this stage, we rob them of the essence of enjoying me, mine, now, because we don't have the time to tend to those needs. We got to be honest with that, right? A person who is only selfish has likely been deprived of the opportunity to enjoy the need to be self-centered as a child, and then to grow and learn out of it. Move my face out here so you can see the rest of it. Here we go. Children need to understand the difference between acknowledgement and approval. We can acknowledge one's feelings without approving of their behavior, but we definitely need to give them the opportunity to at least be selfish. Be selfish. You said that's why I always got taken advantage of as a kid for sharing and caring. Yeah. Well, and see, that's because, here we go. Yes, because you never learned to secure things for yourself. Matter of fact, I'll give you one even better. How do we teach boundaries without teaching selfish? Come on. Is not the very essence of establishing a boundary being selfish, thinking about the self? We have allowed society to talk us out of valuing the self so that others can have. It needs to be about you still. Now, in certain contexts, not just about you, but it needs to be about you. How do you teach The practice of establishing boundaries and saying no if a child isn't allowed to practice no, if a child isn't allowed to close that door and have that boundary respected and enforced. How do they do that? But all of a sudden, when you're an adult, now you want to, well, go ahead and learn how to establish boundaries. You have to be able to say no. You have to learn. They've been robbed of 18 years of that. You've been robbed of that. Let's push. Here we go. When a parent provides a safe environment, and by the way, this will be on my podcast, Family Matters with Instructor Mike. You can find that on Spotify, other places. I might start the podcast here, right? Something cooler, isn't it? Yeah. Wow. I'm just saying. Here we go. When a parent provides a safe environment for a child to express feelings, the opportunity is created to look deeper into which one of these child's needs are not being met. And a parent may need a cool off period to solve the problem later. You know, parents need time out too, right? Parents need time out too. They do, right? Parents can teach compassion by truly listening to their children and setting an example. But I would also say parents can teach compassion by not only truly listening and setting an example, because we sometimes fall into this setting an example, lead by example. But any true teacher knows that's not how learning works. You can't set an example when you don't understand the example. Does that make sense? I know I got some educators watching this. Nicole, does that make sense? If I put 1 + 1 is 2 on the board, you say, you understand that, kids? Well, naturally, they're going to say, yeah, because you're an adult, you're a teacher, you don't want to get in trouble at home. Yeah, I understand it. What did he say? What did he say? I didn't understand that. No. You're talking? No. Yes, I understood. What? You still don't understand that. You see the example, but you don't understand what's being said. So break it down to me. What are these integers? What are the 2 1s? What does that plus sign mean? The mathematical order of operations. Why is 1 + 1 2 and not 1 and 1 is 1? Why is that? Teach me. Right? Here we go. Christopher 9 becomes furious with his 3-year-old sister, Katie, when she handles his model planes and breaks the fragile wings. I remember the story. Katie also has ruined one of Chris's pictures by painting all over it, and he demands that Katie never go in his bedroom again. Chris loudly protests. Katie's intrusions have become very aggressive, telling her what a jerk she is. What do you think Christopher's dad does? What do you think Christopher's dad does? Look at the story right here and tell me in the comments, what do you think Christopher's dad does? You said you just put your mom in for timeout for 5 minutes. You told her she needed it. Have a good night, Mr. Snowman. Sorry about that, nose. Be bigger. You said, Mike, most parents won't want to have most parents won't have too long to spend on each lesson. So many responsibilities. Smaller bird, then put them into action again. You're doing an amazing thing here. Thanks. Yes, that's right. We're going to end this actually here because it goes off into another section. Typically, these classes last a long time, but yeah, we're already an hour into it. So, yes, you are correct. Most parents won't have too long to spend on each lesson. So many responsibilities. Smaller bird, then put them into action. Yes, okay, you're right. I appreciate that, and you are 1,000% correct. I will take that not only into consideration, but I'll put that into action right now. Because I think an hour would be good. What do y'all think? Y'all think an hour? Y'all sound off in the comments. You think an hour lesson time would be good because we all have so many responsibilities. I think an hour would be great. Now, it would extend it. It wouldn't be just 14, 15 weeks. It'll actually make it longer. But that would be a good thing if we get people that really want to go on ahead and have these conversations, right? Thank you for that. Because then after that, we go into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And yeah, that's a whole other lesson right there. Okay. All right. So just sound off in the comments. And we're going to end it here, actually. I like that idea. What do you think? What do you think Christopher's dad did? What do you think Christopher's dad did? Let's look at the next question. Okay. So Chris's dad takes him for a walk in the park, doesn't talk much until Chris calms down. He tells Chris that he needs to make allowances for her because Katie's age, and to realize that when he leaves things accessible for her, she would be tempted to play with him. I just had this conversation with ... I'm not going to chastise somebody for doing something when the person was not supposed to let them have access to that thing. They got access to that thing and they did what you did not like. What do you want me to do? Chastise them for something that you, the older, responsible person, was not supposed to leave out? You are not in trouble. Let's go play. You see what I'm saying? That's a thing. Don't chastise children for being children when you are being reckless and irresponsible. Don't get frustrated at the child. You're supposed to secure your things, right? But how many children get punished for the irresponsibility of the parents or even adults? Chris and dad discuss which toys Katie can play with instead of saying what she cannot play with. And that's the thing. We talk about discipline and punishment. Punishment works so well. It tells you what you cannot do. It doesn't tell you what to do. While understanding his frustration, Dad reminds Chris that he doesn't like to be called names, so he shouldn't call Katie names. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You said an hour would be the longest, but I hate to have the complimentary lesson in. I get it. I get it. I totally understand it. And you brought up a very, very excellent point that people have responsibilities. So just giving me an hour's worth of your time on such a conversation that and such a topic that people don't even really want to talk about. I mean, what can Mike teach me about parenting? Whatever. Right. So I get it. Get it. And you're 1,000% correct. I'm not going to take that into consideration. I'm going to do that. So an hour would be great. You said the conversation just flows. Hard to put it in a time frame because it's really good. Yeah. My parenting classes usually last 2 hours. Usually last 2 hours. And of course, we take a break in between, stuff like that. Of course, because you're at home and doing your thing, you can always listen. You can always listen. I think I may go on ahead and just continue like this. Not tonight, but continue it on the podcast in the event that people did not catch it. And one of the things I like about it is having it on Zoom where people can chime in and actually converse, because these type of conversations need to be had. Okay. They definitely need to be had. Ashley, you said you enjoyed this. What were your thoughts about it? Ashley, I appreciate that. You said you enjoyed this. I appreciate that. This live is actually going to go in the members section. It won't stay up on my regular YouTube page. It'll go into the members section. It'll be up on like YouTube and stuff like that. But if you enjoyed this, I would love to have you. And it comes with a workbook too. It's not just, it comes with an actual workbook for those who are ready and willing to do the work. For those who are ready and willing to do the work. I think just learning different things, learning new things like that. That stuff is important. It really, really is. It really is. All right, you all. We're gonna go on ahead and you said, yeah, please don't forget to hit the like. Hey, Practical Kid, what's going on? Thank you for that. Practical Kid stayed around for the whole time. Practical Kid has been gifting memberships. Y'all go get you one. Get you one. He's been gifting memberships. I appreciate you, Practical Kid. Thank you. You said, trucker wife, I printed my 76 pages. Oh, you could have me. I could have mailed one to you. You said, how often do I run the classes? Every Tuesday. I guess now it's going to be at 5, and actually I do have the time. Yeah. How about 5:30? Every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think 5:30 p.m. would be good. So that way people get started into traffic in this area and at least listen, right? At least listen. You said, how do I get gifted? I'm going to read the rest of your comments in a minute. How do I get gifted a membership? B Binger. I don't know anything about. I know their memberships are gifted. I forgot how to. Hey, Practical King, you want to help me out here? I forgot. Did I go live last Tuesday? No, I didn't. I had something else going on and I could not. So the membership has already grown. It's like 48 people that are in the membership already on YouTube. And I think you gotta, let me see. Let me go to my I don't know if it's gonna work if I go on my YouTube page. But let me see it. Okay. You have gifts accepted in the live. Type that again, Practical Ken. I don't know what that means, if you don't mind. Ooh, this mic is really, really good. This mic is really, really good. I don't know what it says. You said I have gifts accepted in the live. Okay. Oh, Practical Ken just gifted 5 more memberships. All right now. Now it says you could be a lucky recipient of an Instructor Mike membership with access to exclusive perks. Oh, look at y'all okay. Elliot B, Gucci, Demon Slayer, Victoria. Right, Trucker, man. Look, it says click on the green box above the chats, then accept the gifts. There you go. Look at him gifting gift. I appreciate you, Practical Ken. Because every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, okay, that's when I'm going to go live, and I want to keep it in the members. There's got to be a benefit to this stuff, right? I want to keep it in the members only, because those people who come to the members only section, make sure you turn on your notifications to be notified when I go live, when I post stuff like that. Please make sure you check that. So that way, when I do go live, you all will see it, because that was one of the things that prompted me to going live on all my other streams, because I went live over there. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that, Trucker's Wife. I got you. I'll do that. He said, please continue the sale on the CCW. I'm trying to get my husband in your class too. I will do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. You said it's a banner in the live chat by Ken. Yes. And then when memberships are given, you may receive it. Yes. Yeah. Marie G said that was very sweet, Ken. Marie, what are your thoughts about this? Right. Because value is something that's important. And I don't want to waste you all's time or anything like that. I don't want to waste you all's time. I want to make sure that I'm giving you all something that you can value. And then do you all also see the correlation between what I'm teaching in terms of behavior, understanding behavior, and how it may apply to even adults? Because what's teaching conflict avoidance if we don't understand behavior and how things even occur? And this stuff really matters. You said no time wasted. Thankful for the replay. Yes, this on YouTube is going to be in the members only section. As soon as I'm done with this live is going right to the members only section. So that way you can always replay. Like if you ever miss a parenting class, you're going to always be able to catch it on the replay back in the members only section. Okay. So don't think you're going to miss anything. Of course, I would love to have you here. The comments are amazing, right? That always makes the class. But if you ever miss it, right over to the members only section. Okay. Be Bigger said, I'm not sure I understand the gifting process, but Practical Ken is awesome for doing this. Thank you for being generous for such an important topic. Mo, hey, Mo, do me a favor. Please, please, please. Can you go over to the YouTube page, Instructor Mike? I don't even know if I could give memberships. Maybe I can. I don't know. I haven't done it. It's the first time I've ever done anything like memberships and stuff like that before. So, yeah, if you could go over to, and I know you got it, Mo. If you could go over to the YouTube page, and then join the parenting class that way, that would be great. You said you're so sad you missed this live. I miss talking to you. Like Mo is an outstanding. We went to school together, high school. Mo is an outstanding person, an outstanding mom. She's great. Like she really is, for reals. So yeah, I'm just so happy for her husband, and their kids, daughter. It's amazing. When is my next member only live stream? Thanks to Practical Ken. It'll be, well, I can do member live streams anytime, but the parenting specific. You say you're gonna be patient. We waiting patiently for the sound bar. Me too. I'm trying to find another mic so I can hook it up. Actually, I'm probably gonna get the Rodecaster. I'm probably gonna go on ahead and just invest the money and get the Rodecaster, so that way I'll be able to tap it into this mic, because this is an awesome mic. I just went and purchased this mic. Oh my god, it's awesome. It is. Y'all can tell, right? When I used to speak through like either the iMac or the cameras, speakers, the sound was what it was. And somebody was like, Mike, for you to have 1 million subs, that mic is horrible. That the sound is just horrible. So I just went on ahead and got a mic. And it's like, yeah, this mic is really great. Even though when I tap this little cord right here, it shorts out. So I got to move the cord and reposition it so it's not in the way. Cause my hands, I move when I teach and talk and stuff like that. Yeah, but this mic is awesome, like for reals. So yeah, I appreciate you all. And this is going to be something that we're going to go on ahead and continue. And I might just go on ahead and resurrect. No, I'm not going to might do it. I'll resurrect my podcast, Family Matters with Instructor Mike. So if you all go to any place where podcasts are and look up Family Matters with Instructor Mike, you'll hear this, excuse me, in that as well. Okay. And we'll continue it going. Okay. You all have a wonderful night. I appreciate you all. It'll be Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Unless there's some other reason I need to go late. But 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time every Tuesday. Mo said, you said, thank for the kind words, Mike. We are intentional each day to do our best with tools and mentors like you. We succeed. I will visit your channel for sure. Thank you. And you know what? I'm just happy to see your process. I really, really am. I'm just really happy to see your process. Like, yeah. I'm just really happy to see your process, like for reals. you said that brain has a lot of information and the good kind of info. Yes, TNT. And you know what? Trucker's wife. How did you know? I actually ate already, but I am thirsty. But I did eat already. Thank you, Trucker's wife. I appreciate it. Just like go eat. I'm just happy to see your process. You said after party on Zoom. You know what? It would be nice to do an after party. I should drop the link in the members only section for y'all to join the Zoom. I'm gonna drop the link in the members only section, right? I'm gonna make a members only post with the Zoom link, and let me see if y'all actually come. I'm gonna do that too and see if y'all come. So I'm gonna make a post on that, and then we can have an after party. You said it is extremely important. We can all learn from this. I've been reflecting on my own parenting lately. Marie, you make me want to do another regular live on this topic. You said you're free now? Yeah, I should drop the link. What time is it? 9:07? I go to bed early. I can stay up a little bit, right? Stay up a little bit. I just thank y'all for sticking around. Look, I got 1 million subs and 38 people. I'm fine with it. I don't care if it's 2, right? That stuff matters. That's awesome, Marie. And I think we all can do some reflection on our parenting. I think we all can. Yeah, we all can. And it needs to happen. Our children deserve it. We deserve it. The inner child in us deserves it too. All right, y'all, let me get out of here. Good night, Reina Latina. Yes, good night. Good night, good night, good night. You all better classes that way. Which way? Reflecting on parenting or the Zoom? Which one we talking about? TNT. I'm gonna drop that Zoom link. He said, I love the knowledge that you're sharing and it's helping with my growth. Yes, I'm going to keep on going to that. I'm going to keep on doing that. All right. Good night, y'all. I'm going to go into the YouTube section, please. And look out for the community post that I put up there. I'm going to drop that YouTube, the Zoom link. Let's see how many of y'all come in that back channel. All right. Peace.